Every swipe you make is silent brain damage. Not once, not twice. Thousands of cuts every single day. The average person touches their phone 2,717 times in 24 hours. That's not use, that's worship. And by the end of your life, you will have donated over 11 years, a full decade, to glowing rectangles. The scariest part? You won't feel the theft until it's already gone. Look at yourself. Thumb twitching, chest tight, mind restless. That's not curiosity, that's dependency. Parasite code running your nervous system. The truth, most people will keep feeding it until they die smaller than they were meant to be. A few of you will decide tonight that enough is enough. Which side are you on? I know this cage because I lived inside it. Eyes barely open, thumb already moving, calling it learning when it was grazing. A buffet of half ideas, none digested. My ambition leaked out through thousands of micro clicks. If that sounds like you, feel the sting. Pain means the anesthetic is wearing off. And you need that pain because in seconds I'll hand you the first lever to reprogram. But first, answer this. If you lost your phone for just one day, would your goals survive or vanish with the battery? Here's the architecture of your trap. Queue, scroll, spike, crash, fog. The same mechanism casinos use to empty wallets. A slot machine welded to your hand. 80% of people check their phone within 5 minutes of waking. That's not habit. That's compulsion. And every hit you take silences the part of your brain designed for vision and long-term planning. You're not weak, you're hijacked. So how do you fight back? Not with discipline, not with pep talks. You fight by cutting oxygen to the loop. Step 1 is ruthless. When this block ends, delete exactly 3 apps that reward endless scrolling. Kill their notifications. Not forever, just 7 days. That's your test. Your brain will scream, negotiate, lie. What if I need them for work, for friends? Translation, please keep the drip alive. Don't. Every delete is a broken shackle. Every silence is oxygen returning to your mind. But here's the real question. What do you do with the hollow silence that follows? Most people panic. The few who know what to place there take control of their dopamine forever. In the next block, I'll give you the 2-minute ritual that hijacks that silence and flips it toward creation. Miss it, and you'll relapse. Stay, and you'll rewire. You've cut the noise. Now your brain is twitching, begging for the drip you just killed. That discomfort? That's withdrawal, not wisdom. Most people panic here and run back to the feed, but a few weaponize it. Step 2 is how. It takes only 2 minutes, but it rewrites years of programming. Ready? The moment your thumb reaches for your phone, stop. Place your hand flat on a table. Close your eyes. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. While the air leaves you, picture one thing you've been postponing. Just one. A project, a goal, a sentence you've avoided. That image becomes your new dopamine trigger. Congratulations, you've hijacked the loop. Sounds too simple? That's why it works. Neuroscientists call it neuroplastic substitution. You're swapping one reflex for another. The same way addicts replace cigarettes with gum, you're wiring a craving for creation instead of consumption. Every interception, no matter how small, stacks a new circuit in your brain. Miss once? Irrelevant. Miss 10? You still win, because each time you interrupt the loop, the parasite weakens. Your brain will argue. This can't matter. But science says otherwise. In 2022, Stanford researchers found that just 2 minutes of controlled breathing recalibrates cortisol faster than any app or drug. Translation: while everyone else is drowning in micro-stress, you're building a nervous system that obeys you, not TikTok. Imagine walking into your exam, your job interview, or your next conversation with a body wired for clarity instead of panic. That's not calm, that's power. But here's where most people fail. They stop at the ritual. They use it once or twice, then forget. Winners engrave it. So tonight, set one alarm in your phone labeled, "You're consuming again." When it rings, wherever you are, perform the 2-minute ritual. At your desk, in a bathroom stall, walking down the street, do it. This isn't about peace, it's about stealing dopamine back from the machine. Now ask yourself, what happens when the silence stretches further? When you no longer crave the feed, and you've trained your breath, what addiction takes its place? In the next block, I'll give you the most dangerous, most liberating answer. And once you hear it, you'll never see yourself the same. Here's the truth nobody tells you. When you cut consumption and master the breath, what rises isn't peace, it's emptiness. A silence so sharp it feels like standing in front of a mirror with no reflection. Most people can't handle it. They run back to the noise, but if you can stand there even for an hour, you touch something terrifying and priceless, your own unfiltered mind. Step 3 is called the 24-hour mirror. One day each week, you replace every hour of input with output. No podcasts, no feeds, no borrowed thoughts, just you, a notebook, or a blank screen. Write the raw answer to one question. What do I actually think? The first 30 minutes will feel unbearable. Your brain will scream for distraction. That's not boredom. That's withdrawal from yourself. Stay. On the other side of that wall lies the voice you've been drowning for years. Science proves it. When external noise drops, the default mode network in your brain ignites. That's the system tied to creativity, identity, and long-term vision. Translation: silence doesn't make you less, it makes you more. Week 1, you'll scribble fragments. Week 2, patterns appear. Week 3, you start craving your own thoughts more than the feed. That's the addiction swap. You've replaced dopamine from novelty with dopamine from self-discovery. Visualize this. Every deleted app was a broken chain. Every breath ritual was a sharpened blade. And now the 24-hour mirror is you stepping out of the cage entirely. Most will never attempt it. They'll laugh, scroll, and die in the fog. A few will try and fail, but the rarest, the ones who last past the first hour, become untouchable. Which path are you walking? And before you answer, let me pull you forward. What happens once your mind is free, but one of your most sacred habits, sleep itself, turns against you? In the next block, I'll expose why the 8-hour rule is a lie, and how 4 hours could reset your mood and sharpen your edge. That's where the real rebellion begins. You've walked through all 3 doors: purge, substitute, mirror, chains cut, reflex hijacked, silence turned into fire. If you made it this far, you're not like most, because most people never even start. They'll keep bleeding hours into the feed until the numbers are carved on their gravestone, 11 years lost to scrolling. But not you. Tonight you reprogrammed. Feel it. This wasn't motivation, it was code. Delete 3 apps, and you already broke a shackle. Breathe for 2 minutes, and you already bent dopamine back under your control. Face the 24-hour mirror, and you'll hear a voice louder than any algorithm, your own. That's not productivity, that's sovereignty. And once you taste it, sedation will feel disgusting. But hear me, the loop is always waiting. If you drift back, the parasite reattaches. That's why you need identity, not just habits. You are no longer a consumer, you are a builder. The question is, will you keep building when nobody is watching? Or will you sell your attention back for crumbs of dopamine? Most will. A few won't. Decide now which one you are. Here's your ritual. If you're deleting your first app tonight, comment "break free." Not for me, for you. To mark yourself in public as someone who escaped. Share this with one person drowning in consumption. Become the interruption they need. And if you want weapons to keep pushing, I've linked the books in the description. The ones that armed me when nothing else did. Don't just read them, use them. And now, the cliff you're standing on. What if I told you the very thing you rely on most, your sleep, is silently sabotaging your focus? In the next video, I'll expose why 8 hours might be a myth, and how 4 hours could reboot your mood and sharpen your edge. That's the upgrade waiting for you. Stop consuming, reprogram, create. The rebellion doesn't end here.